Welcome to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. Tonight, you're watching our coverage of Mountain West Collegiate Overwatch, and we have got a cavalcade of Overwatch games to bring you tonight. To start off, we're going to be showcasing some possible new talent in the Mountain West Overwatch series. Right now, we're going to be focusing on high school level to see some students that are going to be no doubt graduating into Mountain West colleges, including Boise State. So it's going to be nice to see some new talent. Then we'll move on to the collegiate level to see what the colleges have to offer right now. I'm your host, Jacob Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. And Bear, it's nice to be here. And what we're going to start off on what I understand is a very interesting kind of show match on the high school level to showcase some talent that is going to be entering soon into the collegiate space.
Yeah, as you mentioned, it was just kind of an overall, greater Mountain West area of incoming talent. So it's really exciting. We are starting off with our very own Meridian Technical, a team that we showcase a lot of the times because they are just very close to us here in Boise. And then they'll be going up against Blitz San Francisco, which is actually a club at their high school for the esports program. So some exciting things to see what these players can bring to the table and how Meridian Technical has been growing. We see them in the Overwatch Esports Tower Rumbles play all the time. We showcase them here. We have them play here in the arena. So it's definitely interesting to see how these players have grown and where they can head from where they're at.
Well, how it's going to shake out in this first match is going to be a best of 3 between these two teams doing Control, Hybrid, and then Escort. And I understand the first stage that we're going to be starting out on is Oasis.
Yeah, so starting on Oasis is something that even Boise State has been doing more and more. It seems that the just collegiate scene has been moving towards that map. We see normally, Lijiang Tower or Busan a lot of the time, so going over to Oasis is a nice change of pace, and we'll change up for each map kind of the team composition these teams are going to be running, because with each map just being that much more different, we have indoors library where it's a lot of brawling, then you go out to the gardens and it's a bit more open, some high ground variability, and then you go to the big oval, and it's all about mobility, maintaining high ground, and having that aggression. So we're going to see a lot of what these teams can do in just this first best of 3 of Control in a best of 3.
Well, before we get to the match, we want to go over Doc's keys to the game for both of these teams. And those are going to be to understand your comp and play style, focus on each fight, get good ultimate value, and remember that the objective is more valuable than kills. Doc's keys to the game brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. And now as we're ready to head into the first match, this is going to be Meridian Technical, as you said, versus Blitz San Francisco. Players are ready and logged in, so let's get down to the action. And is there any of the 3 stages that you would prefer to see first off?
Honestly, I really enjoy seeing the library first because that allows for a lot of the intense brawling to really kick things off and get the players' momentum going and really get a feel for it, whereas the other 2 maps are much more open and kind of, attack, reset, whereas the library can be a little bit more brawly because you can really just shoot each other from the spawn right out the get-go, and it looks like it's going to be exactly that.
Here we go, these 2 teams ready, and it looks like we are seeing actually a Ryan Zarya composition be brought out, and ooh, I do see a hog. I love me some good hooks, so we're just going to see how that turns out as these players get ready.
Yeah, so it's Meridian Technical in the blue and Blitz San Fran in the red. And also, just on the side of DPS, as you can see, Meridian Technical is going for very close range.
Yes, indeed they are, and looks like it's going to go pretty in favor of Blitz San Francisco, and the res from Daydream is not going to do too much to turn things around.
Yeah, Daydream, as we know, is that Mercy main, just their pocket pick and where they excel the most. So hopefully we will see them excel here because it will be an uphill battle.
So Genesis picking up a double and putting things back into control of Blitz. Meridian Technical actually managed to capture that early on, managing to get a 12% charge. So it's going to be a little bit for them, but they're going to have to start winning team fights as a whole if they want to get that charge much higher.
Yeah, it seems that even Meridian Technical is going to respect the strategy of Blitz and Fran and have Big Boofus swap off that Hog over to that Zarya, so it's going to be a mirror match for the tanks. And so heading into this next team fight, we're going to see Eternal Flame eliminated pretty early on, but Daydream's there with the is on that Mercy, but that's a long cooldown. And with the Shatter coming out onto 3 members with the grab, and both support ults are going to come out here from Meridian Technical as they lose Eternal Flame and Fem Neptune before he is able to take down the enemy Ryan. So concentrates a little bit of the battle Mercy for 2 seconds, but is going to end up retreating as too many of his teammates were eliminated. He's going to make sure to heal up that secondary tank, and Meridian Technical is going back in.
Now this is an awkward spot that Eternal finds himself in. He's trying to wait for his team so they can push together as a whole. That's a situation where it either turns into a great flank or a nasty stagger from Meridian Technical. Looks like it's going to be the former here.
Yeah, and with Soup swapping over to that far is going to help Daydream excel so much more as they eliminate the Hanzo first, quickly followed by Sin getting the refrag onto Dragonfire. That's the main heals down, but Daydream's carrying with that res as Pancakes takes down Eternal Flame, Big Boofus takes down the main heals. Dragonfire, after being res, takes down the main tank. Meridian Technical swings it back in their favor.
And that's a really unfortunate shatter also by Bayani there. That's just one of those things where you have to be aware of the state of the game. The match was pretty already lost for Blitz San Francisco, so just kind of panic ulting, trying to turn things around, especially on something that's only good to set up engagements like a shatter, isn't going to do you too many favors.
Yeah, and Soup on this far is definitely going to have an interesting time going up against that Hanzo, who you know is going to focus them down, but forcing out the Transcendence from the Zenyatta can definitely swing this fight in Meridian Technical's favor because Blitz San Fran has not been aggressive with it as they should have. But Big Boofus is going to get first blood again, hence that Hanzo, so Soup is going to have free reigns of this guy as Junkrat is not the best anti-air. And even the tire goes down to Dragonfire. You hate to see it if you're a Blitz San Fran fan because Fem Neptune's going to come in with a 2-piece, quickly followed by Soup with a great barrage taking down that Zenyatta. Dragonfire finishing off the main tanks. Big Boof is cleaning up shop on Mr. Pancakes, and that's another fight for Meridian Tech.
Meridian Technical used a bit of everything there, and I keep noticing that Nico just always seems to be being taken out. He's staggered, and that's setting Blitz San Francisco to basically fight every team fight one member down already, so he's got to watch his positioning a little better.
Yeah, and with Synth getting, once again, that first blood of this team fight on Eternal Flame, Daydream is there with the res. Surprised how many reses they've been able to get being uncontested on that Mercy, but I guess they have the aerial cover of Soup. There's so much of Blitz Sanford focusing on the ground. That's why Pancakes had to swap over to that Soldier 76, but now the Amplification Matrix is going to come out from Dragonfire and force the line of sight. And now the grab is going to come out from Blitz Sanford with the combo of the double dragons, and that's going to lead to a double with the help of Pancakes getting that second, and Benai and Genesis getting 2 more, and that's practically a team kill for Blitz Sanford.
And normally when the Dragon Strike is fired down one of those long choke points, it gives the other team kind of some time to react and get out of the way, but the angle he took there just made it so short range that there was no way Meridian Technical could have reacted to that, and that picked off the double, leading to the team kill. And now this is going to go down to 99-99, close game.
And they're going to kick things up with the Coalescence at their own grab, and Meridian Tech is coming back with their own grab play, and that's going to be their own team elimination, and that will be the first round going over to them, but a very close match, 100-99.
Yeah, very close match indeed, with 2 back-to-back team kills, 1 from each team. So both these teams look to be trying to match each other directly in the plays that they bring out.
Yeah, it was really all playing around these Zaryas with those grabs. Both were able to just perfectly line them up. The Sigma was unable to eat it, and as soon as that went down, landed on, I believe, even all 6 members, and it was all 5 because Genesis was just eliminated so early on. Fantastic play by Meridian. Both these teams showing they know how to play Zarya.
Yeah, and that's why you definitely call out the Zarya grab and track it, because exactly that can happen.
Yeah, or even a Diva into it. The Sigma was a good pick, but I guess his absorption ability must have been on cooldown, or he just wasn't expecting it. So great plays by Meridian Tech. So now going into this next map, we can see they're still sticking with the Rhine. Normally we see a change up, but you can hear from the audio cues alone, the Diva is here. So it's still going to be very much a brawl on the ground, but nobody's going to go back to the Zarya grab. Soup's also going to maintain on the far with the help of Daydream being his pocket mercy that he needs just to survive. But also if you look at the comp of San Fran, they're sticking pretty much close to what they knew, except for Nico swapping over to the Ashe. So hopefully he'll be able to execute that anti-air that they need in order to win. But this first fight is pretty heavily in Meridian Tech's favor.
Yeah, I had to wonder about Blitz not really respecting this far Mercy. I mean, Ashe is hit scan, but she's a more of a slower paced hit scan, and you're relying on shots, you know, compared to a Cassidy that can just put a lot of shots up into the air. They're putting a lot of pressure over on Nico to land these shots. So, Mr. Pancakes, I just wonder how they're making that judgment call of, is this Riptire worth having to deal with this far Mercy going uncontested?
Yeah, and even then, the one Riptire they did get was immediately taken down by Dragonfire. So we have to wait to see if this Junkrat can get as much value as he's been worth so far. And with the Amplification Matrix first coming out from Blitz Sanford, but quickly followed by the Shatter and the Sights from Meridian Tech. That Shatter sadly did win, but the Barrage in the backline is going to pick up 2, so that's even fight. They are going to end up losing Soup, but Daydream's there with the res for the main tank. So now Meridian Tech has that front line to push back Blitz.
That's a nice battle, Mercy.
Yeah, we love watching it. My personal favorite, so seems it's going to be another fight in the favor of Meridian Tech, but the Zarya getting aggressive, trying to, already has the grab and at full charge. That's just free damage.
So this ultimate from Mr. Pancakes is kind of going to be the do or die for whether Blitz should stay on this comp or not. If this Blitz tire goes nowhere, then there's no value that this Junkrat is giving to them, and you should be looking for a team swap coming out pretty soon.
Yeah, it's great if you can burn down the Rhine Shield, but they also have the Zarya, and so Bob's going to come out, our favorite member of the Overwatch team, but he's going to be completely burned down but staying alive with the help of the Coalescence. So the Valkyrie is going to come out from Daydream and the Res as she hides from the Diva Bomb, who will pick up the main heals, and the Battle Bursty for 2 seconds even coming out, trying to keep the tanks alive as they're just getting pushed right off the point. Soup without the Pocket Mercy will end up falling to the Junkrat finally. That's the value we want to see from him. And the Tire coming down with a 2-piece as Nico finished off Eternal Flame. This is Blitz San Fran's point.
I mean, they did eventually get the point, and it did prove valuable to them, but Only once Meridian Technical had gotten 96%, and I would be cowering if I was Blitz right now, because if they can't land this Gravitic Flux and that Graviton Surge, exactly what Meridian Technical used last time to tear through Blitz, hopefully they've learned from the first map and don't play into it too much, because that would just give up the point entirely and the game.
Yeah, they also had to commit so many ults just to cap the point. Now they're having to commit 2 more just to try to hold it with the Amplification Matrix and the Gratific Flux, who's only going to land on the Baptiste and did not have the follow from his team to get it. So now Meridian Tech's going to run right into it with the Gratific Flux and the sights from Eternal Flame, and Big Boof is still holding on to even 2 more. This should be map 1 in Meridian Tech.
See some last-minute swaps, including over to the Wrecking Ball, but not going to be able to get to the point to stall it out, so pretty solidly in favor of Meridian Technical there. It was close on Library, but once we got to Oval, Meridian Technical just ran away with it. Well, this match is brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches. Whether you are new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. So overall, it seems like one of the main themes that we might see emerging is the ability to adapt to your opponent's playstyle, because not only did Blitz San Francisco struggle against the Far Mercy, but twice they let the Graviton Surge completely wipe out their team. So it seems to be a matter of not just the comp they're playing, but how they play in reaction to the abilities that Meridian Technical might have.
Yeah, and on top of that is they're playing a Diva into a Pharah and a Zarya, and they never ate the Grav. The Pharah was pretty uncontested for a long time, and even when the Diva was there, she was getting a lot of value for her team, even without Daydream pocketing, because we saw her healing the tanks a lot of the time because Dragonfire was getting taken down as the Baptiste should be focused. So I think Blitz San Francisco has a lot of room to grow, and especially heading over to Hybrid, maybe it was just the map not in their favor and Meridian Technical starting off very strong.
Well, we'll see if they can make the necessary adjustments. We're going to take a short break and be back with game number 2, Hybrid, in this best of 3. You're not going to want to go away.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're watching our coverage of Mountain West Collegiate Overwatch. To start things out today, we're actually taking a look at the level below Collegiate Overwatch. We're looking at some high school talent, which is going to be graduating soon in the Mountain West region and moving on to some of the schools that are in the Mountain and in the West, if you will, because we have both represented, Meridian Technical and Blitz San Francisco playing right now. I'm your host, Jacob Jen Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. So we head on to Hybrid, Meridian Technical up one, and it was nice that we saw something a little bit different in Oasis to start out. And now we're going right back to Complacency in Hybrid as we are on Kings Row.
Yeah, Kings Row is that classic traditional map that we've seen probably the most in any professional Overwatch plays. It's just the map everybody knows, everybody plays. And so you have to wonder, what are they going to bring to the table that is something that the enemy team might not expect, something that they have played very well. And this is a map that hopefully we can see Blitz San Francisco really shine, because they definitely struggled on Oasis, and hopefully we can see Meridian Technical be able to continue their momentum forward.
We'll just have to see how it works out. That's just kind of a reason a lot of people pick Kings Row. It's just the one they play on the most, and it also seems that Blitz just tended to more of a mentality of just going with comfort picks. They've been a team that when they do make switches to their comp, it's been maybe a little bit too late, and they're not the quickest to swap things off. It seems like they want to play what they're comfortable with. So if Kings Row is what they're comfortable with, then that could go to their strengths.
Yeah, we should definitely see them exceed here. And, you know, if they try to go for something like cheeky, like that Statue of Liberty play, we're going to really see where the strengths and weaknesses of Meridian Technical lie, of how quickly they can react to it and deal with it depending on who sides on which for the first round. And I'm really expecting to see a lot of big changes in the lineup for both teams and like how they play their roles, because it's been pretty steady heavy of, you know, Rhine, Zarya, or D.Va. We saw the Sigma for a little bit, and as you mentioned, right at like the last 2 seconds, the Wrecking Ball swap, but he never left the spawn. So hopefully we can see that more than just the traditional Reinhardt, because this just feels like day one of Overwatch.
Well, we'll have to see. We're ready to hop into game number 2 in this best of 3, Meridian Technical versus Blitz San Francisco. Meridian Technical leading 1 as we're ready to hop into Kings Row. And like I said, these two teams, a lot of players that are going to be graduating soon, moving into a lot of Mountain West colleges. And here we go. Meridian Technical looking like they're going to be setting up first here on defense.
Yeah, and this time, Daydream also not on that Pocket Mercy that we know them to play very well. Eternal Flame also on that Hanzo, going to try to show Nico how it's done after that Oasis. Pancake still sticking to that Drunk, but hopefully we'll get some more value here. Also the Sigma and the Zarya return for Blitz. On the side of Meridian Technical, they're sticking to what they know. Dragonfire on the Baptiste, Big Boof is Neptune on the Rhine Zarya. So as this fight kicks off, Nico also on an Echo with no Pocket Mercy is going to have an uphill battle, especially going up against Soup, but as he's quickly eliminated by Mr. Pancakes, Blitz San Francisco is having a good time pushing this point so far. But Eternal Flame evening out very quickly by getting a nice, well-placed arrow onto both supports. Should swing this fight in their favor as Big Boofus takes down Mr. Pancakes, being 3 members down and both supports. This is where you retreat, but Nico's able to secure at least 1 elimination onto Eternal Flame beforehand.
A lot of fighting back and forth, but it's not really going to lead to anything material for Blitz San Francisco. They're going to stay on what they think is going to work out for them. Unfortunately, with that pick by Soup, it's going to put a nasty stagger onto Blitz, only give a bit more ultimate charge Meridian Technical. We actually see them swapping over to the Reinhardt here.
Yeah, that double main tank can definitely have that frontline pressure that you need to push for it and then take the point. Even push up to the archway to make sure that the Meridian Tech can't come in and contest it. And with a elimination like that from Mr. Pancakes taking down Dragonfire, no main heals. This is where you want to see Blitz San Francisco get aggressive, especially after taking down Daydream and Fem Neptune and Big Boofus. Only the DPS are left. This point should be free, but he's going to take down the main heals before he goes.
That was almost perfectly lined up in terms of your picks. Every pick there was someone who had an ultimate online, so all the ultimates that Meridian Technical was saving up, they could not use for that crucial team fight. They're going to have a lot more saved up, just about 5, as Fem Neptune already to 95%. But San Francisco also has a lot in their package as well, so we'll see which team ults first as it is.
Yeah, the ults are beginning to stack up more and more. Blitz is up to 3, Meridian Tech is up to 4, as you mentioned, now up to 5 with that Shatter coming online, so it's going to be he who can burn down the Ryan shield and even the Sigma shield to try to get that Shatter down, but instead it's going to be the grab coming out from Meridian Tech. The Coalescence attempt was from Patty Cakes, but got eliminated as Eternal Flame came in with the Wombo combo of the double dragons, eliminating 3. That's Meridian Technical's fight.
Yeah, that was just very well played. The comboing, the CC followed by the follow-up of with the follow-up of damage. That Graviton Surge being the one ultimate that Blitz San Francisco just can't seem to play around right now. Looks like we're actually going to see a side fight be brought out here.
Yeah, quick to escape, especially with a Junkrat in a small corridor, is due for a Hanzo. The great Deadeye setup here will lead to the elimination of one Mr. Pancakes who just flew too high. But instead, Nico's going to come in with the duplicate of the Reinhardt and get a triple onto Meridian Technical, quickly followed by the main heals and both main tanks getting a team wipe. Blitz San Francisco playing around that duplicate perfectly.
Now this is probably going to lead up to just one more fight that looks pretty good for Blitz, as they didn't really expend anything for that last engagement. They have just about everything they need. They got CC, they've got the damage with the Riptire. If things should go wrong, they can also negate kind of any damage Meridian Technical pushes out to the sound barrier.
Yeah, things are definitely looking good for this fight to secure this checkpoint. Meridian Technical is going to have to play around with this amplification matrix very well, but a great Shatter landing onto 3 members is going to lead to the fight swinging in Blitz's favor as they eliminate all 3 of those members. Both DPS down, both tanks, main heals gone. There goes Daydream. That's another team kill for Blitz San Francisco and Kings Road. This is their map.
Yeah, they definitely seem, despite getting off to a little bit of shaky footing on the first engagement, ever since then it's been pretty dominant in their favor. And they're also using their ultimates pretty effectively as well, as this Gravitic Flux, if it is used first before this Shatter for Meridian Technical, can swing the fight in their favor. But who uses their CC ultimate first?
Yeah, it's going to be all about trying to burn down those shields. So there it goes, the Gratific Flux, Fem Neptune with the Shatter. So it seems back-to-back, but Patty Cakes is also going to bring out the Coalescence to get the refrag onto Fem Neptune. So both teams have lost a key member of that Lucio and the main tank, both coming back fairly quickly. As Dragonfire takes down the main, or second main tanks of Synth Real, as Daydream comes in with the Battle Mercy, taking down on Mr. Pancakes. Eternal Flame takes down Nico, but gets immediately taken down by the Sigma as Big Boofus and Soup come to finish off Blitz San Fran. All-out brawl, but Meridian Tech brings it out.
Well, the good thing is that the main ultimate that could have tripped up Blitz, that Graviton Surge, Graviton Surge, was burned in that last fight, didn't get too much mileage. So now Meridian Technical, if they are tracking ultimates and cooldowns, know that they can push up here and not risk getting all bunched up. They're also going to have this Shatter coming online right now. If it hits a good amount of them, that could be huge.
Yeah, the tire is going to come out. Soup will be able to pick up one, but Mr. Pancakes made sure to deny that Deadeye with the tire. So that's an ult for an ult as Fem Neptune comes in with a double onto the Ryan and Nico of that Echo. We're followed by Dragonfire taking down Mr. Pancakes. Fem Neptune now on a triple with that Flame Strike, taking down the Moira as they're just running back to spawn. Meridian Technical holds them here.
This is one benefit also that this BAP has over Blitz. He just has more of that verticality to be able to hold these high grounds here. If you look at Meridian Technical, the only one who could really meet them up there would maybe be the Junkrat, but Meridian Technical just really doesn't have any vertically minded heroes. They could send the. I just don't think they have the counter for that right now.
Yeah, and Genesis is going to come in with the double, and now Real is going to come in with the Shatter and eliminate Daydream just with that proximity. Quickly followed by Nico taking down Big Boofus and Bay taking down Eternal Flame with Pancakes, finishing off Dragonfire. They're making sure they can't leave their spawn, pushing the cart as fast as they can, but a great 4-man Shatter coming out from Fem Neptune will lead to the 2 eliminations for Soup, who swapped over to that Doofus to take down the Cole Cassidy and the Lucia, but he will get taken down by Blitz's Reinhardt, but Eternal Flame coming back with his own tire to take down the main heals and the Rhine of Blitz as Big Boofus comes to follow him up and takes down the Sigma.
Meridian Technical has staged a really good defense here thus far. I think it mainly because Blitz San Francisco, this Echo that they've been running for so long just can't get as much mileage as they have been running in the first 2 parts. So they're going to try to keep staying on this Echo, but compared to the first half of this map, it's just a lot harder to have dominance over the airspace.
Yeah, especially going up against this Baptiste, who has definitely been going for that DPS role. He's trying to burn down this Sigma, and he gets him to half health and takes down his shield. As Soup managed to take control of the skies, take down Echo, but will end up falling off the map in that environmental. But Fem Neptune makes sure to take down the main heals. This is where Meridian Technical could definitely push, but a great shatter is going to land onto 3 members. Both supports. Main tank is going to go down. Quickly followed by the Sigma taking down the main tank from that shatter. And Synth Real taking down Daydream, but Dragonfire still staying on the point, making sure to use his boots to maximum till he is taken down by Echo after he takes down the Rhine. Big Boof is doing their best to be the anti-air, able to take down the Sigma, but will get taken down by the Echo. Coalescence now going to come out, and perfect timing for that tire as Eternal Flame is able to shut down on both Patty Cakes and Pancakes. As the Coalescence is going to come out from Daydream and pick up one more. Meridian Technical has continued to hold them, so now the Wrecking Ball swap is going to come out. Blitz San Francisco is in all-out stall mode, but it seems only the Wrecking Ball is trying to stall.
It does seem we have that spin to win is going to be brought out here as Mr. Pancakes and Synth pick up 1 each. So that puts Blitz San Francisco 2 up, and that Death Blossom isn't going to make things any easier. The Zarya bubbles are indeed going to get charged, but the question is, can Big Boofus hold by his own? And he cannot. There was only the Moira, and now Moira falls, so it's all up to Soup, all alone, try-harding on the Doom. Not going to do anything. A huge shatter is brought out to buy Meridian Technical a little bit more time, but as Blitz San Francisco gets back up, Moira Orbit's going to eliminate one. Fem is eliminated by Nick. Synthetic, they're just taking them out 1 by 1 as they get onto the point. I don't know if that respawn advantage is going to be quite enough for Meridian Technical. Seems pretty much like a done deal right now. Blitz San Francisco claiming the final point.
Yeah, definitely hard fought on that final point. Even Soundberry coming back just to make sure that they can hold this final point, but the duplicate was fantastic on the Ryan, just able to brawl out on the point consistently. And that boop on the Reaper as he's using the Death Blossom was so lucky for Blitz San Francisco. He was right on the edge of that. And if they had gotten that boop, that definitely could have swung the fight in their favor. But Meridian Technical has also been using their ults very well in counteracting when Blitz ults. You know, they threw out the Coalescence, immediately they got tired. They started the Deadeye, he got tired by Pancakes. It's been back and forth whenever you ult or at ult on top of you.
Well, it's very crucial, I think, that Blitz managed to get all 3 points here with how much Meridian Technical held them. That now makes it a lot easier for Blitz to get the win on this point, since we've seen so many teams stage incredible defenses in the third part of this map. So they could run the timer out to 0 had just 1 more team fight gotten in favor of Meridian Technical. Blitz wouldn't have gotten 3. So if Blitz can hold that same sort of defense, maybe even a little better here, slow down the pace of Meridian Technical, I think that they can get the win.
Well, they're going to have to possibly deal with a Statue of Liberty play as the Bastion is there with Daydream on that Pocket Mercy. I haven't seen the Symmetra just yet, but it could be the play. We do see that Blitz is also bringing a Hanzo, so if he can get behind him, he will be able to execute it. There's the Symmetra as well. They're going for the play. They even have the Sigma to set up the shield, and there it is. He's starting to rain down as much fire as he can. Has to hit the target, and he will finally get that right onto the Honest. That's the main heals down, quickly followed by Big Boof, his Super and Eternal Flame. That's the whole team of Blitz. That's a 30-second team kill.
It's legendary, it's well known, and hey, it worked out for Meridian Technical. Statue of Liberty, clutch for them. They're going to take the point in just 1 fight.
Yeah, very cleanly executed. That Ana was all by her lonesome. The Sigma shield was perfectly placed to block any of her darts that she could try to throw at the Bastion, even though he can simply out-heal it. And Meridian Technical made sure to take space in front of that archway as they're actually getting pushed on pretty aggressively by Blitz so far. Blitz holding him forward very well as Daydream has to use the red to bring back Dragonfire so they can try to push this forward, but Nico utilizing the high ground trying to contest this Junkrat who gets right in her face. Seems that Eternal Flame's really knowing how to counteract an Echo on this Junk as Pancakes takes down Fem Neptune in the front line. That might mean Meridian Technical might just have to reset. They do have the Sigma to try to hold that front line, but he doesn't have the pressure Reinhardt does.
There's so much pressure being pushed out into that choke point that we actually see Soup get off of the payload and moving back just for a bit more natural cover. They're waiting for a key pick onto Blitz San Francisco before they go into such a narrow contested space.
Yeah, Daydream once again using that res on Soup, getting as quickly as they're using it. And now great possibility for the Gratific Flex, even flying all the way around. This is a good place as he couldn't get right through the middle and takes down the Ana. Very again, first one eliminated as Sigma takes down Eternal Flame, but with his post-mortem, he takes down the Echo. Soup able to pick up one Dragonfire once again on anti-tire duty. Let's Meridian Technical continue to push forward.
Genesis is making a very risky play here, trying to hold this corner all alone. And actually, you do see Mr. Pancakes found himself caught out, and it's going to cause even more of a stagger to go onto Blitz as Meridian Technical successfully gets their res.
Yeah, Daydream has been perfect on these reses and has been uncontested for a long time because they are able to res at the perfect time, but that shatter is very mistimed. Wow. Neptune's going to show him how it's done. Shattering 3 members of Blitz San Fran, and Soup following up with the tank. Able to get a 2-piece with the help of Fem Neptune taking down Genesis, and that's the first checkpoint for Meridian Technical. Pretty uncontested.
Now this is going to be extremely interesting because Blitz also had a very fast pace getting to this checkpoint, but this last section of the map can be where dreams die for the attackers. So Meridian Technical is going to have to watch out. I have to wonder how much more Soup stays on this Bastion since that initial Statue of Liberty play has been exhausted. A huge Riptire from Eternal. Soup also taking out Synth and is going to get a double himself, and that's just a team wipe for Blitz San Francisco. This is just going to come down to the last staggering all onto the point.
I mean, they're going to have to try to stagger for practically 5 minutes. The duplicate is going to come out, but quickly eliminated because Soup on this Bastion has just been having a field day. And so they took that with 4 minutes and 36 seconds on the board, whereas Blitz San Francisco was in overtime. Here we thought this was their map, and Meridian Technical had a great attacking.
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean, this would have to be the ultimate overtime for Blitz San Francisco. I mean, over a 4-minute deficit, that's such a tough ask.
Yeah, so now we will have to wait and see who takes what sides first. Hopefully we can see Blitz defending because they should be able to hold Meridian Technical for just that much longer. But if Meridian Technical is defending first, Blitz is gonna be interesting to see.
I mean, yeah, if they
who's
can
on what side.
If they can get on the pay, okay, this is
Meridian Technical is attacking again.
Okay, so they're attacking.
They still have the Bastion.
Oh man, that's kind of a risky play. It kind of gets into a fool me once, fool me twice thing. But Blitz's main challenge has been trying to adapt to Meridian Technical strategy. So if they can call this out here, looks like they are also doing a bit of scouting right now. So
just, hi, I'm right here, right in front of the door. They're still sticking with Pancakes on the Junkrat and Nico on the Echo. So they're not trying to go for any really hard anti-Bastion. We haven't seen them have a Diva. They don't have the Diva. They are still sticking with that Sigma Rhine, so... But it also seems Meridian Technical might be going for the Statue of Liberty play, but they're very split up. They might just try to go for a teleport right behind Blitz, so if they could play right by the archway... No, they're going for the high ground.
That's still a very nice spot for the Bastion, but that's a whole lot of damage being pushed up to him.
That's great target prioritization by Blitz San Francisco, but Daydream gets this uncontested res even after Nico has air superiority, and Synthreal is actually going to get Fem Neptune as well as Nico taking down Big Boofus, so that's no tanks for Meridian Technical as Soup takes down Mr. Pancakes and Eternal Flame takes down the Baptiste, but as soon as Soup gets set up, he's taking down every member of Blitz. It seems they just forgot about him.
Yeah, I think they just didn't account for the res there.
I mean, yeah, the Daydream was definitely one of the hard carries for Meridian Technical there, but that's going to be a win for them.
Yeah, just winning this 2-0 very quickly. Blitz San Francisco showed a lot of fight, though, themselves, managing to get the 3 points. But, man, that Bastion, I think the two things that are going to be in Blitz's nightmares are Graviton Surge and the Bastion, too. So
yeah, that's something where you really want to stress having a really good Diva player on your team, because that would have countered everything. It would have been able to eat the Graviton Surges. It would have been able to deal with, you know, the air superiority when Soup was on that Pharah for Oasis. It would have been able to deal with the Statue of Liberty of the Bastion. And so it's definitely going to be those tanks learning the Divas, and I think they can do it because they have a lot of room to grow.
Well, that's going to do it for this match. Did you have anyone that caught your eye in terms of main plays made?
I mean, like I said, Daydream with those uncontested reses was really the backbone of their team, keeping them alive, even with Dragonfire getting eliminated a lot of the times. Mercy still has the main heal's potential. She was doing very well with the Valkyries. At the same time, I really want to highlight Soup because he was the Bastion. I mean, he did very well. Like,
it's been a while since I've seen Bastion get a lot of recognition in terms of player of the game.
He did very well, and even when he did have the pressure applied to him, he had Daydream to back it up, which is why I would say it has to be one of those two players.
Yeah, well, you'll just have any opportunity you can to give a Battle Mercy some recognition.
Of course!
I know how it works out
here. That's something you
here.
never get to see. You have to love a Battle Mercy.
Well, the player of the game is going to be brought out very soon. We're going to see who production has chosen right now. And they've actually decided to go with Eternal Flame, who started out here on the Reaper, but had some great plays as Junkrat later on.
Yeah, did very well. Oh, Blitz San Francisco also had their own Reaper who did very well, but Eternal Flame just really showing them how it was done consistently. That's not the best highlighted play as we saw him get eliminated, but he was able to take down the main tank, fulfilling that Reaper role. And also here with the Hanzo setting up the Graviton Surges and the Double Dragons was perfectly lined up again and again and again. So that's just perfect team coordination for Meridian Technical between Big Boofus and Eternal Flame, so well deserved.
It's the ICCU Player of the Game, brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Eternal Flame is your ICCU Player of the Game. Well, that's not all the Overwatch action we have to say. Like we said, this was just highlighting the potential new talent that could be entering the collegiate level. Now we've got collegiate games to get onto, so you are not going to want to go away. But for this match, we'll leave you with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. We'll be back with more Overwatch. Enjoy your top 5 plays. So it gives the other team kind of some time to react and get out of the way, but the angle he took there just made it so short range that there was no way Meridian Technical could have reacted to that. And that picked off the double, leading to the team kill. Now this is going to go down to 99-99, close game.
And they're going to kick things up with the Coalescence at their own grab, and Meridian Tech is coming. Was immediately taken down by Dragonfire, so we have to wait to see if this Junkrat can get as much value as he's been worth so far. And with the Amplification Matrix first coming out from Blitz Sandfran, but quickly followed by the Shatter and the sights from Meridian Tech. That Shatter sadly did win, but the Barrage in the backline is going to pick up 2, so that's even fight. They are going to end up losing Soup, but Daydream's there with the rest.
Looks like we're actually going to see a side fight be brought out here.
Yeah, quick to escape, especially with the Junkrat in a small corridor, is due for Hanzo. The great Deadeye setup here will lead to the elimination of one Mr. Pancakes who just flew too high, but instead Nigo's going to come in with the duplicate of the Reinhardt and get a triple. Yeah, things are definitely looking good for this fight to secure this checkpoint. Meridian Technical is going to have to play around with this Amplification Matrix very well, but a great Shatter landing onto 3 members is going to lead to the fight swinging in Blitz's favor as they eliminate all 3 of those members. Both DPS down, both tanks, main heal's gone. There goes Daydream. That's another. Daydream has been perfect on these reses and has been uncontested for a long time because they are able to res at the perfect time, but that Shatter is very mistimed as Neptune's going to show them how it's done. Shattering 3 members of Blitz Sanfran, and Soup following up with the tank, able to get a 2-piece with the help of Neptune taking down
hyper emotional. Gotta be rational. Big monkey is optional. I'm in the phase, I need evolution. 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 מכין מגולגל וטס לחלל. I need evolution. 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 וטס לחלל.
Good evening and welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're going to be watching our coverage of ABC Collegiate Overwatch tonight, and we got a great match for you. Boise State versus University of California, San Diego. In the ABC at large, big familiar names like Boise State are looking out for UT Dallas and UCI Esports, but of course the two big names everyone is thinking about in ABC are looking to take down Maryville University and Northwood. But right now, Boise State on their way to facing off those top teams, like I said, is going to be going up against UC San Diego in this best of three. My name is Jacob Jem Palmer. I'm still joined by Brenner Bearlat to call all of the action for you tonight. The Boise State going up against UC San Diego, and it's another best of three, so should be able to wrap this up pretty quickly. No threat of assault, which I know everyone is happy about.
Yeah, for sure, and especially about the new news coming out of the alpha and the beta for Overwatch 2 and new mode push. People are definitely antsy to try out the new stuff, so staying away from assault, which is going away, is definitely a welcome change for everybody, especially the Overwatch players. So going into this matchup, Boise State is just coming off a win because typically we play two ABC matches back to back, and we're just jumping into the second one. So going up against UC San Diego is definitely going to be interesting to see how they might match up against Boise State, who's traditionally done very well in this matchup. I do not know what San Diego's lineup has traditionally been, but going into this possibly in the dark, you want to be playing at your best, which is something that Boise State, you know, you don't want to hold back. You want to put in your all and try to take this team on front and have a strong showing.
Well, since you mentioned lineups, I think this would be a good chance to see what Boise State has to offer in terms of lineups, so we can pull that up. The opening lineup for tonight for Boise State Overwatch, brought to you by Count Identity Trust Global Network, delivering real-time fraud prevention, account protection, and enabling personalized customer experiences, more than 9,000 leading brands and payment providers. Count.com, KOUNT.com. And there you can see the opening lineup. Two amazing tanks, Matt, Merck, and Kel. And I just got to say, I know that Plato is more than happy being back on DPS, having to fill in for the tank role. It's great when you have two that are actually like dedicated to tanks.
Yes, having people that are dedicated to a role rather than having to always go hybrid or secondary roles, which is something Boise State likes to flex. But if it's our main roster, you want to have that main role that you're just the best at. And Matt Merck is definitely the best at that main tank role. Usually that wrecking ball that he's just unstoppable on. Kel's on the off tank. And Plato on the DPS has definitely been proving himself again and again and again.
Well, we can take a look also at the rules of how this match is going to turn out. Like I said, this is just a best of three in control, hybrid, and escort. And of course, before we get to the match, it'll be a great time to go over Doc's keys to the game in Overwatch to help Boise State have the best chance of winning tonight. And those keys of the game are going to be brought to you by Drop In Gaming. And here we are. The keys to the game are never take a fair fight, and that means to take fights in unexpected places, when your opponents are unprepared, and when you can have ability advantages. Brought to you by Drop In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. So ready to head into the first map of the night. We're going to be starting out on control, see what both of these teams have decided to choose. Once again, this is Boise State versus UC San Diego in ABC Collegiate Overwatch. Best of three, first game ready to jump in, and we'll see if Boise State can't get off to the right foot. As we jump into the map right now, we've seen Boise State bring out, we've seen Oasis kind of brought out, but that's not going to be, we're back to pure complacency right now as our old favorite Legion Tower starting out on Gardens.
I mean, this is definitely the home base for most Overwatch teams is Legion Tower, the most played. Everyone knows the strategies, the current meta for it, even with the patch notes. And of course, they're going to be going with that Symmetric Teleporter right out the gate, but both going for the Sombra Reaper for just kind of a mirror match here for these two teams because they want to go that high speed, more divey, high DPS output, looking for that hack target going right in on top of them. And both fighting over the bridge. This is very dangerous for Boise State because they could get knocked off, so they might just have to rotate around the left side.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised Boise State taking a position like that because they've taken advantage of the boops off the bridge so many times for other teams. So they definitely have guts, or maybe they just don't think. No, they paid for it. They paid for it.
Yeah, Matt Merck jumped right in. The Diva tried to follow him up, and it was just a little bit of a staggered push. And another boop for Hinged right now. He's on a two-piece with Princess following up, picking up one more. Boise State having a rough start.
Yeah, just kind of maybe getting a little bit of tunnel vision there. Actually gonna have the Sombra pressing into Boise State's spawn a little bit. And they're actually gonna take the exact same route here.
All eyes are gonna be looking for that Lucio trying to knock it. And a great EMP is gonna cancel out Chosen's Coalescence, and now UC San Diego is gonna bring out their own Coalescence, show them how it's done, as it has been a trade 2 for 2 so far. So these teams are still even. Both lost a main tank, and both lost a DPS as Paco is able to demech Kel. The battle of the Moiras right here, just holding right click, both not taking damage or healing enough, as Bog ends up winning the baby Diva off having his mech advantage. Plato's finally able to take down Roe on that Winston, but as Dam uses the orb to take down Bagel, Boise State has to reset again. This is a hard fight for them.
Yeah, they seem to be really running up against the wall here, and they just played right into that hack, got almost all of them. The hack's going to be brought out by Maxwell, but it doesn't look like it really picks up anybody.
Yeah, even the Diva Bomb brought out, that didn't lead to elimination. Primal Rage brought out for San Diego, and that leads to the elimination of Plato, surprisingly, as he's on the Reaper, but Matt Merck's going to answer with an elimination onto the baby Diva as he gets taken down by Princess Kel's going to end up having to suicide on the edge, and Boise State has to reset.
And they've just used basically everything they have. They're going to be swapping over to a new comp. Matt is going to be trying to bring up some more shields now, swapping off the Winston to bring on the Reinhardt, excuse me.
It's all right, as Maxwell swaps over to the May as well. A little bit of a comp swap, but another great three-man EMP. But this time didn't cancel out the Coalescence from Chosen. Instead, they're also going to bring out their own Coalescence and the Death Blossom for San Diego right now, and they're taking this fight with every advantage they can as they even demech and eliminate Kel very quickly, not even trying to go for the stagger. It is overtime, so they're just going to clean up the remaining two supports. That should be the point for them, as actually Plato comes in the back lane trying to stall just for that much more time, as Matt Merck is trying to 1v1 a Reaper, which will never go well until he gets the pin, but the Reaper even survives. That will be map 1 for San Diego.
Well, we were talking about the top teams. Maryville, Northwood, might want to add UC San Diego to that list with the way things are going. It could not have gone more wrong for the Broncos.
As we take a look back on this first huge EMP that canceled the Coalescence, and these great boops coming out from Hinge just absolutely set the pace for UC San Diego and just continued to really prove that they are the better mirror matchup in that comp. So hopefully coming to the indoors of Lijiang Tower, we might see Boise State really come alive in the second map.
Yeah, those EMPs, especially when they just wipe out all your team's abilities, can be so rough to play against. You know, you're an Overwatch team. You don't want to be playing CS:GO.
Yeah, this isn't Valorant either, because you do have the abilities. So now it's once again going to be very close to a practically mirror matchup, except for Kel and the Sigma. And it seems Plato's just going to go on a tear with this Junker and eliminate both DPS right off to bat. And now that should be the point secured in their favor, unless the Tritons can come back swinging in this push. But Plato's making sure to be that artillery piece that they need out of this Junker with the constant DPS output.
Yeah, once you're playing on tower, it really becomes a battle of who can have the better Junkrat. And Plato, in just the previous matches we've seen him on Junkrat on tower, has been insane with his Riptiles. To see what this can do.
Yeah, getting a tire so early on, not even before 10% hit the board. But Princess is there to take it down before he can deal any damage and even get the elimination. Plato is playing very well. The Shatter does come out, doesn't land onto anybody, as Princess now gets a triple as Bog comes in, finish off Matt Merck. Paco taking down Bagel. That's a team kill for the Tritons.
Wow, that turned around completely for the Broncos. They're going to be trying to bring out the teleport here. Not going to allow UC San Diego to set up the car wash here.
Yeah, Plato tries to win that 1v1 against Princess, but Princess does have the tire line. Chosen's going to bring out the Amplification Matrix who force the Tritons off the point, so that's less percentage for them. They backed off very quickly rather than just line of setting. So now the tire's going to come out from the Triton, see if it will get eliminated as the Broncos did. We'll just wait to see where it comes. It comes from right down the middle. Will only take down the Immortality Field, but that's a cooldown used as Rowe gets a 2-piece onto both DPS. Make that 3 onto Chosen. Boise State's going to have to go for a reset here after losing main heals. Both DPS now main tanked as well as he suicided, taking down Rowe. Princess and Pico was clean up.
Yeah, but I like that stall from Boise State. They pushed it to 51% now. And the main thing of Boise State is, like, they aren't really allowing the Symmetra to set up her turrets in a position where Boise State is going to walk into. And we see they are set up there, but they weren't able to be set up in their usual location of the main choke point. So because Boise State is able to reset so fast, it's allowing them to retake these points before the main defensive utility of UC San Diego is put out.
Yeah, UC San Diego threw it out the amplification matrix, and Boise State simply just line aside it. So now the wall comes out from Maxwell. This is a great push for Boise State. They need to get this first pick if they want to be able to have the advantage, but they're going to get a mirror match between these Symmetra walls as both of them go down. But now Plato has the tires, going to bring it out and eliminate the Sigma. But a great shatter onto 3 members of Boise State forces out the sound barrier from Bagel to keep them alive, as well as UC San Diego's own sound barrier to keep their members alive. But Matt Merck and Plato are going to get the first 2 eliminations onto Princess and Rowe. Quickly followed by Chosen, winning the 1v1 against Demekles? Demekles.
I mean, Maxwell had so much time to charge up his laser gun here. It's basically, it sounds like a leaf blower at this point. It's just so charged up.
Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't seen the Zarya with how much these beams have just been able to dish out the damage, especially with a double barrier going into a Junkrat. Plato's just been having a field day. The Diva Bomb does come out, does not lead to elimination. But a giant shatter of 3 members. Bagel actually gets the first blood to Cheeky Lucio, forcing the Immortality Field down. But Max will set up the car wash, able to take down Princess, and now they're forcing him back into their spawn. Matt Merp taking down Hinged. A clean fight.
And now this really forces UC San Diego. They have to move toward the point, but now Boise State is going to have a lot to set up. You can see Plato just waiting there for the sneaky Riptire. He's going to bring it out and have to push it back. Maybe get it right onto the point, because actually they found a way to sneak past Boise State and contest on the point directly.
Yeah, a well-placed teleport. You can see Matt Merck was just looking of where they go. They teleported right behind with the Gratific Flux, and now the tire coming out for Princess, trying to keep his team in the fight. It's Sigma will even swap over to the Diva as Hinges to get the environmental against Maxwell. Perfectly timed Immortality Field coming out from Chosen as Peko takes down Matt Merck, and as well as Kel both takes down. Boise State might just have to reset here.
They can't reset. They're in overtime.
It's full-out aggression. Matt Merck's going to have to bring out the shatter. Doesn't land onto anybody, sadly, as Bagel is able to take down the Rhine. So that's the main takedown. Boise State has the +1, but they quickly lose as Matt Merck ends up going down. Now this Symmetra is on a 3-piece, taking down both DPS of Boise State. Bagel has to use the sound barrier just to keep his team in the fight and a chance at winning this map, because this is where Control could lose them. As Kel takes down Princess. Princess was able to take down Chosen before he falls, but the Symmetra for UC San Diego was doing the work for them.
Well, it was a noble fight there from Bagel, trying to Reddit Lucio his way to glory, but it didn't quite work out. He got a pick here or there, but overall 99 to 99%. And brought to you by Drop In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. I just got to say, that's probably the most consequential Symmetra teleport that I've ever seen, because Boise State was so focused. You saw them setting up right there that choke point. You saw Plato setting up his Riptire specifically for that, and UC San Diego read it perfectly and teleported completely around the Broncos, caught him off guard, and got to the point.
Yeah, as soon as the teleporter went down, they all teleported. You heard the Gratific Flex go on, and 3 members of Boise State were just standing there like, oh, they're behind us now. Like, they executed that, and they were just surprised. Like, you saw Matt Merck consistently just swinging his hammer on the teleporter, like, where'd they go? And then turns around, charges in, and that's when the fight kicked off, and the time was not in their favor. We said, like, Boise State needs to reset here, and it was 99-99 overtime. So Boise State having a hard time against UC San Diego. this is going to be a huge match for us.
Yeah, UC San Diego could be the team of surprises for Boise State. We'll see how they do on round 2. They just need to win one more, and they'll have it. We'll be back after this break, see if Boise State can recover.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome back to the Boise State Game Pants Esports Arena. You're watching our coverage of ABC Collegiate Overwatch, and Boise State in a match with UC San Diego, which is not going how the Broncos planned. UC San Diego turning out to be a team with a lot of surprises against the Broncos, already picking up a win in Game 1. Now they move on to the second game at match point for themselves, so Boise State's going to have to, even though it's a best of 3, still pull off a mini reverse sweep in order to win. I'm your host, Jacob Jen Palmer, joined by Brenner Bear Ladd. So now Boise State has choice of the next stage, and sometimes we see Boise State choose kind of an off-meta stage for hybrid because everyone chooses Kings Row and everyone's good at Kings Row, but that's not what they decided to do. Boise State going with Kings Row, what is tried and true, and they think that they'll do a better job. But what do you think is the main thing that's been missing from the Broncos? Because it seems like the Broncos just, something's off for them in terms of how they're playing.
I mean, maybe it's as simple as the fact of maybe we didn't... I think it could be the issue of the communications. That's something that we as Boise State have been working on for a while, is the communication of what's the important information that needs to be said versus, you know, playful banter of what's going on in the match of, you know, oh, I just hit a sick headshot versus like, hey, I just eliminated this person, we can push now type situation.
Right.
And also touching on the communication of when to go in and where to take the fight, Boise State kept pushing that right bridge on Lijiang Tower, and they just couldn't get off the bridge.
Right.
They were so stagnant for a long time. I don't know if they were waiting for Matt Merck to leap in, but as soon as he did, 2 members got booped off the edge. So it was definitely interesting on the timing side of it, so hopefully we can see that a lot tighten up, and now they don't have to worry about environmentals for Kings Row until the very last point.
That's an interesting thing you brought up of just kind of the feel-good comms, because that's kind of Boise State is known for playing very well as a team. They have great relationships as a team, just a lot of great friendships, and they usually have a pretty good atmosphere about them. They like having fun when playing Overwatch, but that's kind of the double-edged sword kind of thing
For sure.
about that, is that sometimes you just need to focus down and, like Doc says, employ those sweaty comms. And actually, that is one of Doc's keys to the game that he employs in some of his advice, but we'll see the specific Doc's keys to the game that he has right now, and that's never to take a fair fight. And that means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and when you have ability advantages. Doc's keys to the game brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. Play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. You can go to dropingaming.com for more information. I got to say, taking fights in unexpected places, that's what UC San Diego's been doing very well, especially with these Symmetra teleports. And so we'll see what they bring out. Kings Row, definitely a map that can have some sneaky sim teleports. We'll just have to find out if the Broncos can recover, as we're ready to jump in right now. Of course, most likely this means Boise State's going to be attacking first, because the team that doesn't choose the map usually chooses the side, and usually that means the team decides to defend first. So if you're attacking first as Boise State, what do you want to bring out?
I mean, after the great Symmetra plays that we saw on Lijiang Tower, I would hope that continues. I doubt they'll go Statue of Liberty just because that's a very cheeky play. You could do it for the very first time, get wiped, and immediately swap off of it just to see if you could get it to work, but I don't think Boise State will do that. They like sticking with the much higher speed, try to get a pick or two and then go into the enemy team. So if they end up doing that, I would hope to see something more along the lines of, maybe a Hanzo to try to poke early on, a Cole Cassidy for sure. That flashbang is utilized way too much, and especially a Mei for these walls. So
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so this could very much be another mirror match between these two teams with the Cole Cassidy and the Mei.
Yep, very brawly comps being brought out the wall, and Maul, Boise State likes to say, we'll see how well they do it. You're going to want to watch for those Mei walls to peel off teammates to see how well both teams have the same idea.
Yeah, just have to wait and see who gets frozen first, and it seems Hinge is going to be able to demet Kel with the help of that Cole Cassidy very early on. Both immortality fields go down, and now Goblin in for the DPS role of Boise State, able to take down Paco, winning that 1v1, but Hinged and Bog are going to come in, taking down both the Baby Diva Kel and Gob on the Cole Cassidy. Boise State looking to just head back and reset as they lost their secondary tank and DPS, but Bagel's looking for elimination on that main heals, and he will get it with the help of Plato as Bog takes down the main heals. So it is constant trades between these two teams, but Boise State has the spawn advantage.
They do, which is what makes this first point so hard to take. But the good advantage for UC San Diego is they've already built up a little bit in terms of ultimates. If they can hold Boise State for here, they can determine how these next few matches get played.
Yeah, but now the Tritons are going to push right in with their Amplification Matrix, and Plato has an answer with that Blizzard, able to eliminate that Lucio, who did end up getting caught out, and even demech Bog and eliminate him with the help of Maxwell, even take down the Immortality field. Goblin takes down Ro, Matmerk takes down Princess Chosen, takes down Paco, and that's practically a team kill and the point.
Now with 5 minutes, it only took one engagement, so only losing one in that first section. Not too bad for the Broncos, and we can see them kind of snowball this momentum. They like to just kind of get to the second checkpoint as soon as possible, and with that pick onto Bog, that might just be what they do.
Yeah, Goblin swapping in for Maxwell has definitely shifted the momentum in Boise State's favor. Definitely not going as fast as Meridian Tech did, winning that first fight in 30 seconds on this point, but Boise State's gaining that momentum. They took the space, and they're ready to just cap the point with the lone Lucio of Bagel just chilling on the cart, as is his job. But Goblin's going to throw out that Deadeye and force out the Mei wall, tries to even throw him above the Mei wall, but barely misses it from Plato. So just again, might be a little bit of the miscommunication inside heights, but a great shatter coming out is going to be dodged, and now he's going to answer it with his own as Matt Merck takes down Princess after he throws down that Blizzard Rose, going to get the revenge elimination. Now Paco's coming running in, taking down both DPS with Hinge, getting the right-click elimination onto Chosen. That's a Boise State reset.
That was an interesting fight there in the subway. It was just kind of a matter of, well, who has the counter to what? You know, UC San Diego throws out their shatter, so Boise State responds, no, we're going to bring out our own shatter. And UC San Diego says, well, we've had this Blizzard running the whole time. So
back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth.
So now as this next team fight kicks off, Kel's looking to use that Diva Bomb, and now the amplification matrix comes out, so you know Boise State's just going to go right in. Matt Mark's going to kick things off with the pin onto the main heals, and Kel with that Diva Bomb takes down the main tank. But now it's going to be DPS trades as Goblin is able to take down both DPSs of the Tritons, and that should be the checkpoint if they can continue this momentum forward as Matt Mark finishes off the Baby Diva.
It seems like only one fight has been dropped for each of these sections here, so that's still pretty good momentum for the Broncos. So now they're going to be entering into this. I think they probably get around a 2-minute bonus, so probably 5 minutes to take this final point. They're going to get a little over 4, actually. So that's still a very nice pace to be set, but we've seen so many teams do a very ironclad hold in this third section of the map. It's so different from the other two, so it can really turn stuff around.
Yeah, great speed boost with the Deadeye, but Goblin is there with the deny. So close to booping off that Baptiste. So now Goblin's going to bring out his own Deadeye. Tries to burn down that Ryan Shield as quick as possible, but will simply get timed out. And Bagel sadly gets booped off the edge by Hinge. These constant 1v1s in these mirror matches we're going to see again and again, but Plato and Goblin are able to clean up 2 more members of the Broncos. So they're still having a solid push here, and Bagel's the fastest one who can get back.
The good thing is Boise State, in terms of what they have, has a lot to use here. They have the Amp Matrix, which both teams are going to use, but should anything get too bad, like a Shatter being brought out that just comes online from UC San Diego, they're going to have the sound barrier in response.
Yeah, Goblin taking a lot of poke damage from Peko on that top left side. Chosen had to throw down the amplification matrix to try to zone out the Tritons the best they could. The wall goes down as well as the Blizzard able to take down Row. That's the main tank. That's an opening for the Broncos, and now the barrier is going to come out as Goblin did get frozen, so he kept himself alive. Chosen gets the elimination onto Princess. Here comes the Deadeye looking for at least one, but with the zoning capability, he's going to take down the Baby Diva, but she's going to take down Chosen with the Diva Bomb. The Mortality Field must have been on cooldown as the Shatter comes out onto Goblin as well as Kel, and will take down the mech. So as Baby Diva's on the playing field as Goblin takes down Hinge. It is all out stagger right now. The Deadeye comes out breaking the Ryan shield, so Boise State has to play much further back.
This just shows you how that respawn advantage can come into play. Boise State was in control of that engagement, had all of the eliminations, but because UC San Diego was so disciplined in how they came back onto spawn, they're able to fight as a full team again.
Yeah, even Princess swapping over to the Doom, so even more pressure is going to be on from the 2 DPS to try to deal with that Doomfist, since he's going to go straight for Chosen and Bagel again and again. Chosen's going to throw out that amplification matrix in first UC San Diego into the corner with a great shatter. Her taking down a Hinge as well as taking down every single member of the team. That should be it for Boise with 2 minutes and 3 seconds left on the board.
Pretty good time, but one that can be easily matched. We'll just have to see how good UC San Diego is on attack.
Yeah, they were definitely very aggressive on that Lijiang Tower. So now Kings Row, Boise State played that very well. I mean, they were a tight-knit team, and seems that that swap of Maxwell for Goblin really has paid off in dividends, because on this Cole Cassidy, he was getting multiple eliminations, and this amazing play from Cal just set up so well with Matt Merck. Shatter, it seems they fixed their communication.
Yeah, it seems like they're playing together as a team. Now they're going to see how well their defensive game is. UC San Diego, you know, 2 minutes, it's like right in the mid-range there for how much you want to attack. And sometimes it can just turn into a snowball here, and Boise State's definitely going to have their work cut out for them defending this 1 point. It's so far away from the spawn that just 1 or 2 ticks, you know, the engagement only has to slightly go in favor of the attacking team, and they've got the first point.
Yeah, so this is where strategies like Meridian Techs can come into play, where you have the pocket, Daydream, Mercy constantly bringing the reses. That's how the defenders can try to out-sustain the attackers and the attackers have that spawn advantage. But with this continuing to be a mirror match and the Baptiste and the Lucio, a lot of eyes are going to be on Bagel of this Lucio to try to, transport people back and forth with that speed boost if they want to try to out-sustain the attackers. Already early on, you can see a little bit of exchange as trying to scout out the best they can, but nothing has changed for team comp-wise. And a great wall for both teams. The wall ball comes out. Oh, Paco gets first blood, but Matt Merckx is able to take down Princess. Both Immortalities field end up falling, but Kel gets the next elimination onto Hinge. So that means Boise State is +1 in this fight, and since Bagel was eliminated, he can come back to quick. As Kel takes down Roe, Boise State wins the first team fight.
So this is going to be the main deciding factor if UC San Diego can match Boise State's pace here, because this is exactly how Boise State started out, losing one at the beginning. UC San Diego will have to win this fight right now, or else they're going to be fighting against the timer the whole match.
Yeah, and the ults are in the favor of the Broncos, so both Amplification Matrix and Immortality Fields are going to come out for both these Baptistes. Seems that first blood will be Kel's mech. Quickly followed by Kel on the Baby Diva getting the elimination against the Cold Cassidy. Quickly followed by Goblin taking down Princess, and the Baby Diva continuing this rampage on a triple, showing Doc how it's done on his main character.
Baby Diva main.
Showing him how it's done. I mean, hey, people don't respect the damage she can output, and she has a very high rate of fire, so if she's clicking heads, that's some good deeps. But now the ults are favoring the Tritons.
It's going to determine on who has both teams have the opportunity for a really good shatter here.
Great setup for the Blizzard. The shatter does come out from the Tritons, and it doesn't land on anybody, so Goblin will be able to win the 1v1 again. Hence the Cold Cassidy, and now they just continue in this hallway. A great wall. This is where we say wall and maul them. And Goblin's going right in onto the Reinhardt with him down and the mech down. Baby Diva, watch out. You know to respect her damage, but she's going to get run over. And now just Baptiste and the Mei left. Mei's going to have to use the Ice Ball. Baptiste utilizing his boots to just jump right over that wall, trying to find him. Will get taken down by Matt Merck with that double. They're burning a lot of time off for the Triton.
Yeah, by trying to take such a weird flank route, it's one that takes a lot of time, and Boise State really punished them for it. They basically picked them off one at a time in the corner. As much time as Boise State could have gotten from defending there, they took advantage of.
So now ults even across, or no, Broncos have, nope, it is even. I can't do math, it's fine. Right, so now another great wall setup with the Amplification Matrix just burns simply right through that Mei wall, but Kel was there to eat the Blizzard. Heard as Chosen takes down both Immortality Fields, fall for the Baptiste as Pico takes down Plato. So now the Tritons are +1 in this fight, and they have spawn advantage. Boise State's going to have to play a little bit safer, and now they lose Matt Merck. Things aren't looking good.
No, and Chosen is going to try to pick Airplay, going back into UC San Diego's own spawn just to try to stall them out. But it doesn't quite look like they're going to fall for it.
So Hinged wins the 1v1 against Chosen, and that should be the point for the Tritons. Boise State's just going to have to go for the regroup at the subway. This is where we see the Tritons try to take the second fight, try to get all the way to that first checkpoint and see where Boise State will decide to hold.
I mean, the one place they can even it up is the final factory. If they manage to take the third point in not too many fights, then that's the way they can even up their time against the Broncos.
Great two-man shatter onto Matt Merck and Plato, forces at the Immortality Field, and now Plato's Blizzard will get eaten by Bach, who quickly eliminates Gob as well. Now Boise State's just going to have to go in full retreat because the damage coming out from the Tritons has been unmatched. Now Boise State tried to play right into their own trap with the Amplification Matrix and might catch out this Cold Cassidy's very low. Matt Merck will get him, but he gets walled off, and he's getting mauled pretty hard, but both of their Immortality Fields will come out to keep him alive. The Diva will be demeched though from that Flame Strike. Bolt take stuck inside the bar means the Reinhardt will go down, and the Mayberry low forces out but the Blizzard, and Matt Merck will throw down the Shatter, not landing onto anybody. Kel remains frozen in Baby Diva form as Goblin takes down Hinged. Baptiste takes the remake elimination onto Plato. This has been a very drawn-out brawl, and Goblin still gets the elimination onto the Cold Casting, making sure to win these 1v1s. The Shadow's going to come out from row onto 2 members of Boise State, lead to their eliminations. Finally, the card is moving.
And I gotta say, Boise State, I think they have the advantage for this next fight, especially because this blizzard is coming online. But look at all the space that UC San Diego is using to push up to the point. They're still gonna have to round this corner though, so this blizzard is gonna be crucial because UC San Diego doesn't have any CC ultimates.
Yeah, it's going to be all about this Deadeye, which they procced very early, and now with the cheeky flashbang trying to demech the D.Va, Goblin's going to bring out his own Deadeye and going to try to be line of sight the best they can. The Blizzard's going to come out as well, not eaten this time, so they managed to pressure out the D.Va as Matt Merck gets the first elimination against the Reinhardt, but he is quickly eliminated by the Cold Cassidy. Now the Amplification Matrix coming out for Boise State, as well as the sound barrier to keep them alive, and God will just end up getting a triple, even elimination with the flashbang. Getting a little cheeky there.
I think that's a very costly ultimate that Hinged used there, that sound barrier. That would have been very nice to just save onto right now, because Boise State basically used everything they had, save for the self-destruct, to hold UC San Diego here. So imagine now if they had had that extra bit of health to engage onto Boise State here. They have left themselves with no ultimates. The closest they're going to have is the Amp Matrix, but that's one of the fastest charging ultimates in the game, so no surprise there. They don't have time here. They got to make their way, and that ooh.
Yeah, they're just so close to that checkpoint. They're going to have to get aggressive, and Kel's going to make sure to throw that.
So good.
And a perfect Maywall coming out from Princess stops that right in the strike. And now the Amplification Matrix is coming out, and the Shatter, and a 4-man Shatter for UC San Diego against all members of Boise State. Leads to the elimination of Kel, quickly followed by Plato falling. That might be the checkpoint for the Tritons. Boise State's in an all-out stall here. Finally, Bagel will go down, as well as Chosen, and they get the checkpoint.
Now they're just going to have a minute and a half, so no matter what happens, even if they have their best performance right now, they are not going to match the Broncos in overtime here. So the only thing they're going to have is this self-destruct, but Boise State has the better tools to engage here with this Deadeye, which they're going to use right now.
Tries to burn down that Ryan shield with the help of the Maywolf, but going to have to have an answer for that D.Va bomb, and they are managed to escape. They even throw out the Blizzard, but sadly the Tritons got away too quickly. They only end up losing the Reinhardt.
Yeah, this was the smart thing. They realized they have a little bit of time to use, so they just decided to disengage there, burn off the ultimates from Boise State, and now take this fight when they're going to have the advantage having the Blizzard of their own.
Yeah, you can tell Chosen's looking for that Amplification Matrix to just buy themselves that much more time. And already another Deadeye has been charged from this Cold Cassidy on the Triton side. And they're going to have to back off pretty quickly. The Immortality Field does go down to try to keep his teammates alive, but Goblin gets the first blood against Princess. So now with no maid, no wall in ball, Boise State can get very aggressive here, and they're going to do exactly that, taking down Hinged, but you don't want to push right into their spawn too far, but Boise State doesn't care. They want to maintain this time advantage because there's only 15 seconds remaining as Bagel takes down Paco.
Yeah, you just prevent them from getting to the point entirely. Paco is actually just going to try to get any speed he can, just try to run to the point with the Soldier. It's not going to work out.
Yeah, he gets taken down by Gob, so Plato will answer that with the Blizzard, and both sound barriers are going to come out here as Matt Merck and Plato end up getting frozen. Chosen is able to take down the Immortality. Phil throws out his own, tries to keep those tanks alive. Dema is demeched as Kel gets the melee against Princess, quickly followed by Matt Merck getting the pin, and just like that, Tritons can't get to the point, and Boise State takes Kings Row.
Well, Esports Tower takes the time to match you up with great, talented teammates and coaching professionals. You can improve your game sense, improve your team play, and improve your performance under pressure with Esports Tower. To unlock your true talent, go to esportstower.com for more information. So now it seems like Boise State, it seems like they've gotten everything together. Whatever was missing for them in this first game, it seems like they have it down pat now.
Yeah, since they lost, they got to pick their map of choice. As you mentioned, Kings Row, their most played. They definitely felt comfortable. They came back swinging. The wall mall really worked for them. And looking at what the UC San Diego really came out with, wall mall favored Boise State. It's their home picks that they've played the most. So now going into an escort map where you can't do that nearly as much and not have the comfort of Kings Row, I expect to see a comfort map, something like Dorado from Boise State. But with UC San Diego having the pick, Boise State's going to have to be ready for anything.
Well, it's going to go down to a game 3. We have one more match, one more fight for tonight, and you're not going to want to miss it. Who's going to win, Boise State or UC San Diego? We'll find out after the short break.
Visit NationalGuard.com to begin your Guard adventure.
Here are a couple lessons I've learned over the years. Friendships come in all shapes and sizes. And always buckle up. Seatbelts save lives. That's a rule we can all live by.
Welcome to the Boise State Esports Game Pants Arena. I'm your host, Jacob Jem Palmer, joined by Brenner Bearlad. We've been covering ABC Collegiate Overwatch for you tonight, and UC San Diego started off with a very surprising start against the Broncos, picking up the first win in control. Boise State responded in hybrid on Kings Row, getting a win of their own. So now we head down to the third and final game of this best of 3. It is going to be Escort, and I know Brenner's going to be pleased because it's his favorite. Route 66 has been chosen.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Boise State defending first, so they chose to defend first, which I find really interesting because I actually prefer attacking on Route 66. So I'm curious how Boise State might be going into this matchup, knowing that they're defending first, and they defend pretty aggressively on Route 66. It's either you defend aggressive as you can, hold them in the diner, or you hold the top of the gas station. So I'm curious where Boise State might try to hold them, as well as how UC San Diego is going to try to break those defenses, because a lot of the times we see maybe a Farah, an Ash, probably a Wrecking Ball just to try to cause the chaos in the backline since there's so many opportunities. So I'm definitely anxious to see what these teams' strategies might be.
Well, we actually, before we get to the match, we have a little bit of Overwatch 2 news that has actually been dropped. It actually looks like we have a map poll that's going to be used for the Overwatch League 2022 poll. Of course, you can see here the new push map. It's going to be New Queen Street and Colosio, I believe. So that's going to be nice, but Route 66 still in there, so that's good for you going forward.
Yeah, also good for Boise State. Kings Row is still in hybrid, so is Eichenwald. But new Midtown hybrid map, as well as a new Escort map, Circuit Royale, with the 3 priors of Dorado and Gibraltar still sticking around.
Yeah, so it's nice to see. It's just gonna be an avalanche of new content all of a sudden. I'm sure a lot of Overwatch players that have been staying loyal will be very appreciative of all that. So it's nice to see things all kind of corralling together. Of course, with new Queen Street, I'm just surprised they just didn't go for New York, because that's
True.
just that's just
Also
it's
surprised
already been taken in other media.
no
but
Toronto.
No Toronto, which is also kind of interesting.
Yeah, it has been a map that's been teased kind of often, so I'm curious why that's not around. A lot of old maps also not in that pool because, you know, they want to keep it together, but I wonder if they're going to update any of them for the new game as well.
I don't know. I remember, wasn't Monte Carlo also teased as a push map? Yeah, I remember.
It's
Monte
been a
Carlo
while. We haven't heard a lot, so I've
I know.
forgotten about that news.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for you Canucks out there, you're just going to have to wait a little bit longer for your Overwatch stage to be brought to fruition. So sorry about that, but it is going to be exciting to see the next semester finally roll around and see a lot of new content. But one thing that isn't new, Doc's keys to the game, because those are tried and true and always applicable, and it's never to take a fair fight, and that means to take fights in unexpected places when your opponents are unprepared and when you can have ability advantages. Brought to you by Drop-In Gaming, the premier online platform for gamers who seek competition. You can play your favorite games to win cash and prizes through free and paid entry matches and tournaments. Whether you're new to the scene or a seasoned veteran, Drop-In Gaming has the right games and competition for you. Alrighty, we're ready to head into the third match, Route 66. This is going to be decided between Boise State and UC San Diego. Of course, UC San Diego was the one who chose this stage, so maybe they have a sneaky strategy that Boise State hasn't considered. We're just going to have to find out what is being brought to the table, and here we go. Match 3, Boise State versus UC San Diego, Broncos versus Tritons, Route 66.
Yeah, and as we talked about, this being a best of 3, it's all down to this, and already we know exactly that's Matt Merck on the Wrecking Ball, because that is his main that he is able to just dominate the field with. We can also see just from the silhouettes, it's going to be an Echo with a Brig and Zen, so no Pocket Mercy, also a Diva, and I believe that is a Tracer down in the corner, which might be Gob. So Boise State definitely sticking with that very high speed, but the Brig and Zen are going to have to be very well defended in order to not just get rolled over by UC San Diego. But, a very early elimination from Chosen that charged up right click. Talking about a dominating stance of, I'm the better Zen, look at me go.
That is insane right now. Who needs Widowmaker when you've got Chosen on Zen?
Yeah.
One shot, one kill.
Gonna also be the Ash 1v1. This is a near mirror match except for the Wrecking Ball and Sigma and Diva. So Sigma Diva, sorry. But Plato also winning the 1v1.
Which, considering how good Matt Merck is on the Wrecking Ball, you know, if you don't match him in skill on that, then that's definitely going to be a deficit.
He's going to have a field day.
Oh, yeah.
And already Goblin taking down the Wrecking Ball, losing that really main tank for the Tritons. They're already having to go for a reset. And Boise State can so easily just have that poke, but with Princess getting the elimination onto Goblin, could swing the fight in their favor because they still do have that spawn advantage, and pack goes up to 80% for that pulse bomb. But Princess with an amazing dynamite takes down both supports of Boise, means Boise might just have to back off here.
We see it's going to be a battle of the Wrecking Balls here between Roe and Matt. A little bit of help. Actually, it's just going to be a wash between the two.
Yeah, Goblin came in just in time on that Tracer to get the elimination. But now the Pulse Bomb is charged for the Tritons. But at the same time, Matt Merck already has the mines compared to his counterpart, who's only at 80%, which just goes to show how good Matt Merck is at the mines. Sadly, he triggered them just too high on the roof, so many of them got missed.
Yeah, I was surprised there, especially since, you know, it's going to with the payload so close to the checkpoint, it's like a no-brainer. You drop it where the payload is going to have to go, but fortunate whiff on that one.
Yeah, we also saw the pulse bomb attempt from Goblin just land perfectly on Brig's shield, so that also got negated. But now Plato with his own dynamite is going to take down Princess, and Goblin with some excellent poke using all of his abilities. Matt Merck just going to drop in right on their heads and take down Sigma with the help of Chosen taking down Paco. This has really been back and forth so far, and look how far the payload has gotten.
Yeah, that's one thing that UC San Diego is really good at, is even if they don't win a fight completely or Boise State is winning, they're really pretty good about staying on the payload and making sure they can get as much distance as they can.
So now the rally is going to come out from Hinge to kick this team fight off, trying to give as much armor as they can to win this fight. And now Ro is going to bring out his own mines right on that main rotation point and bridge. Both bombs coming out from both the ashes of these teams. Bagel so close to the rally is going to activate it immediately, as the Sigma will end up just trading out with Bob as Plato takes him down for revenge, as Peko wins the 1v1 against Gob with the help of that Brig. So Boise State is down one, and now the Transcendence comes out for the Zenyatta of the Tritons, as well as Ro taking down Chosen and Hinge taking down Kel. This should be the checkpoint for them, but Bagel's not going to give it up easily.
I mean, that's what Doc's talking about when the objective is more than the kills. You're not on the checkpoint contesting. UC San Diego is able to steal out that checkpoint under Boise State.
Now Paco with these pulse bombs has been able to take down Bagel as Hinge finishes off the Ash, and the Sigma takes down Matt Merck. Boise State's going to have a clean reset here because they've been trickling.
That's a nice luxury there on the motel. It advertises free color TV.
This is why we love Route 66.
With a Betamax player as well. I mean, you're living in luxury.
Everybody knows what that is. As Princess wins the 1v1 against Plato, but Chosen wins the 1v1 of the Zenyatas. But the ults do favor UC San Diego at the moment with the 3 ults, but Matt Merck's not going to let him stop him from throwing the mines right on the cart, but instead Ro is going to take down Chosen on that Zenyatta, as well as Paco taking down Bagel in the backline, and then Sigma winning the battle of the off-tanks against Kel. Boise State needs to have a clean reset and fight because they've definitely been trickling in.
And it looks like that is indeed going to be the case. They're just kind of waiting. It actually might just be a little bit of a soft engage here from some Tracer poke, but overall it seems both teams are fine, and Boise State is going to be going into this match just about evenly with UC San Diego in terms of ultimates, 3 apiece, and Bob is brought out.
Yeah, great dynamite to kick things off from Plato, taking down so many of the mines that Ro just threw down. Bob comes out from Princess as Plato's own Bob gets taken down, as well as he gets taken down. The Gradific Clicks is going to come out from Bog and not land onto anyone, sadly, as Goblin wins the 1v1 of the Tracers finally, but Princess takes down Mammerk. So far, this has been constant trades back and forth and no ultimates yet.
I don't think Plato was really expecting the Bob to be placed up on the high ground like that. Tried to get away with the coach gun, but was just unable to and got mowed down. Now Boise State, though, it looks like they fully respawned, and the engagement is just kind of going to draw out to another full team fight.
Yeah, Bagel's doing their best to keep Chosen alive as Goblin takes down the Sigma, but that Paco on this Tracer takes down the Baby Diva, who was recently demeched, as Ro takes down Plato, but Chosen coming back, taking down the Zenyatta, and Matt Merck taking down the Tracer. Now Goblin taking down Hinge. It is constant trades, but it seems Boise State will finally be able to hold them here.
It's going to take some time to clear out some of those mines that UC San Diego dropped. Just one more left, and there it goes after a lot of Diva fire. Just kind of at a long range, just taking it down 1 hit point at a time.
And now it's a perfect mirror match as Bog has swapped over to the Diva. So it's trying to say anything you can do, I can do better. We will have to wait and see because Kel knows how to play this Diva phenomenally. Same with Matt Merck on this Wrecking Ball. But their constant trades have just been so back and forth. These teams are just looking for that 1 or 2 pick to have that edge in the fight.
Matt Merck is actually just kind of waiting for them to all go in and drop the minefield right on top of them.
Combo! And has paid off right on Zenyatta as the rally comes out from Hinge. Tries to knock the Ash off the roof, and Kel's going to throw down the mech. Will not land with the self-destruct. Even tried with the remech elimination, but the Wrecking Ball is just too fast. Instead, he's going to eliminate the Baby Diva as Matt Merck took down Princess, but Plato's also going to take down Ro. This might be the end of the push for UC San Diego. They haven't gotten the second checkpoint just yet. Overtime's ticking down, even taking down the Tracer and Hinge on the break. Bagel taking down Lucio. That should be it for the hold. 89.606 meters for the Tritons. They got pretty far.
Yeah, they did get pretty far. I was concerned Boise State might just hold them out before the first checkpoint, because that's happened a lot when they've defended on Route 66. And they certainly bled so much time away from UC San Diego with how aggressive they were on the first hold.
Yeah, it was very aggressive. And Princess with that dynamite taking out both supports was definitely a huge lead that helped him secure this first point. Princess definitely a threat for Boise State, as I keep saying, this has been an all-out brawl of constant trades. Since this is a pure mirror match, it's just been whoever gets that slight advantage can slowly get that ball rolling in their favor for that one team fight, but it can so quickly be overturned because these teams are so evenly matched.
I hear the voice spam.
Voice line spam. You know it's Goblin.
And you know it's Goblin, yes, of course.
You know it has to be knowing him. But also, we see an Echo with possibly no pocket mercy going up against Princess on this Ashe, who has been very well.
It might just be a confidence thing. He thinks he can play it better.
I'll have to wait and see how that plays out, or if he'll have a pocket mercy, maybe swap off, because Bagel and Chosen on this Brig Zen combo has been doing very well. Bagel's been sticking by Chosen's side, trying to keep him alive the best he can against Paco on this Tracer, who has just been such a nuisance for Boise State. He gets so much value just poking again and again, but no pocket mercy, staying with the Zenyatta and the Brig. Does allow for some good poke though, but now no Ashe, no Dynamite, no Bob. He's gonna have to play around this duplicate very heavily.
Plato just trying to take some snipes here and there. Question is, who's going to charge their ultimate first? Because both these teams, if one of these members pops off, they can have an ultimate charged up still within the first engagement.
Goblin's almost at 60%.
Yeah.
So probably Goblin. But a great engage on the roof will lead to the first elimination of Plato taking down Roe. That main tank gone. Things are looking good as immediately Caster Curse. Goblin gets eliminated by Paco. But Plato is there with the reflect to take down Princess and even things out. A great burst of damage coming out from Plato as Chosen somehow got that elimination. Must have just been the last hit, but no assist. All right, Overwatch, I see you.
Now it looks UC San Diego is able to trickle back in, is still fighting mostly as a team here, but that's a very aggressive position that Bog is taking against that point, and they have to take it against the payload or else Boise State just gets handed the checkpoint.
Yeah, finally they will be demeched as Goblin gets the elimination against Hinge, surprisingly. Brig being the counter to Tracer as Plato finally finishes off the Baby Diva. And even Bagel gets an elimination there. Matt Merck finishes off, but the Pulse Bomb coming in all the way in the backline for that poor Echo.
It's always hard to see that Echo had been eliminated.
Exactly.
It's just standing up.
It was just, she's fine.
It's
just
fine.
It's a Weekend at Bernie's situation.
In my peripheral vision, I just saw someone standing up, so.
Well, she ended up getting eliminated, but Boise State holding on to 4 ultimates right now. They just haven't needed that.
If this is what they've done without using the ultimates.
Yeah, so right now they are feeling very confident, even though Goblin was down to less than 20 HP for a moment there. Hinge does get the rally, and Matt Merck with the confidence throwing the mines on the roof gets the elimination against Ashe, and another one against Brig as she falls off the roof. These are some cheeky plays as one of the very first ultimates for Boise State has just been thrown in that. Got a double. Make that a triple with an ult alone.
He rolls the Tracer into one of his own mines that's on the ground.
Matt Merck, you are too good at the wrecking ball. You have too much fun as a hamster.
You know, there are no hero bands in Overwatch that are brought out right now, but I bet I can know who UC San Diego would have chosen if there were.
That would not surprise me one bit, as this is definitely his pocket pick. Yes, dedicate your fire to take down that one mine. As Plato goes in with the duplicate and is quickly eliminated by the Tracer, but Princess is coming back with a vengeance, taking down that Zenyatta, I believe, as Bagel brings out the rally. Now Goblin taking down Paco. Oh, it has been an all-out brawl because this is where the Tritons need to all-out stall, but Matt Merck with another mines. just throws it right on top of the cart as Princess takes down Plato. Princess being pretty uncontested on this high ground is utilizing it even throughout the bomb, but now Paco still holding on to this pulse bomb and Hinge getting the rally once again. They've won the point.
Yeah, that was an awkward position there. Chosen with the Transcendence was really just kind of split off from the rest of his team, so couldn't really use that to keep Boise State alive. And now Boise State just have to make sure they're disciplined and not taking some of these fights that they can lose. Any sort of stagger that's brought onto them is going to help UC San Diego even more because they already have the ultimate advantage.
Yeah, they just need to start pressing their Q buttons because they have the rally, they have the pulse bomb, they have the self-destruct. All can be huge playmakers, and the sustain from the rally can keep them alive through it all. They just have to worry about that one Transcendence so if they can take out Chosen early. This could be their fight, but Matt Merck getting the first elimination onto Princess is not a good start because she's been the main damage, and a double ultimate back-to-back of that Diva Bomb will lead to the elimination. Chosen exactly what they needed to do, as Kel did manage to take down the baby Diva before she could remake. But Goblin was able to charge up that Pulse Bomb quick enough, and Paco was not able to get the elimination with his own Pulse Bomb. See, San Diego only has the minds to answer her both, make that 3 ultimates from Boise State.
That's a great pick from Paco, though, and those minefields are basically going to shut down the point for Boise State. There goes a copy out from Plato as well. I mean, that would be a whole lot of mines Boise State drops down if they can do it. Ah, this gets taken out.
Very quickly eliminated. Both Transcendences are coming out from the Zenyatta's trying to use there. First quickly followed by Boise State. And Matt Merck with his own mine shows Rose how it's done, getting him eliminated, trying to spin to win on the cart as Goblin takes down the Lucio coming out of Transcendence. Paco throws out the Pulse Bomb right before he dies, but does not land. Bagel takes down the Tracer, and that is it. Boise State wins against Tritons. A very close matchup, surprisingly.
Yeah, wasn't expecting the Tritons to make as much of a fight of it as they did, but they caught the Broncos off guard, and Lijian forced it to a game 3, so good job all around for both teams.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Tritons came out swinging and really caught Boise State off guard, it seems, but as soon as they made the swap for Maxwell and Gob, they just got the ball rolling and continued moving forward.
Well, Boise State Esports is always looking for new talent to join their varsity esports teams. Top talent, along with good grades and eligibility, can improve your chances as well. To see how you can join the Bronco family, go to boisestate.edu/esports for more information. Alrighty, so now as we look back, for player of the I would have to say you got to give it to Matt with how much he popped off on Wrecking Ball on Route 66. I mean, I would think he was so good that he basically took any option that UC San Diego had of playing on the high ground away from them. If there was anyone trying to claim high ground, he would knock them down or just use minefields on the high ground.
I mean, at the same time, I do want to say Goblin is a good contender because as soon as he got in the game, Boise started winning, so you have to give him some credit for that. But I definitely 100% agree with you for Matt Merck on that Wrecking Ball because he was just such a force in the field. He contested the high ground. He was contesting Princess, who was their main player for a long time. I think Princess also deserves player of the game for the side of UC San Diego for how well they were doing consistently through the showing. We were constantly highlighting them, especially in the kill feed. So one of those two players is well-deserved.
Well, we'll see who has been decided to be the player of the game. It is, in fact, going to be, yep, like we predicted, Matt Merck.
Of course, well-deserved, just being the front line and really the driving force of so many of these plays, especially on the Reinhardt with a perfect 3-man shatter to showcase.
Isn't it serendipitous that a person who is as good on the Wrecking Ball as he is as a kinesiology major just has motion down pat? Very good job by Matt Merck, brought to you by Idaho Central Credit Union, who believes a great player makes a team more successful, just like Idaho Central's helping members achieve financial success. Matt Merck is your ICCU player of the game. Of course, he had great work on both the first 2 stages here, but it was his performance on Route 66 which really set it apart.
Yeah, whenever he gets on this Wrecking Ball, it's where he shines the most, and this is one of the very last tail-end plays where he gets a triple with these mines, and it's just comical of the Ash comes right down from using the coach gun, lands on a mine, Brig jumps off the roof, lands on a mine, and then he knocks the Tracer into the mine after getting a quad.
That was the best.
It's just, it's the definition of Wrecking Ball of pure chaos, and we love to watch it.
Well, do you have any final thoughts on top of that?
More mercy.
More mercy, more battle mercy.
I mean, it's the only thing I could ever ask for. I got Ruse 66. We saw Roadhog from the Meridian Tech, so you got to have that highlight. It was a good night of Overwatch.
Yep, it sure was. Well, we'll leave you with the top 5 plays of the game, brought to you by the Idaho Army National Guard, who invites you to take your impressive critical thinking skills into real time. More than 10 jobs offering a $20,000 bonus and your degree of choice paid for. The Idaho Army National Guard is one of the best teams to join out there. Reach out to them on Twitch at iGuard Gaming. That's going to do it for us tonight. Have a good weekend and enjoy your top 5 plays. Taking a position like that because they've taken advantage of the boops off the bridge so many times for other teams. So they definitely have guts, or maybe they just don't pay. No, they paid for it. They paid for it.
Yeah, Matt Merck jumped right in. The Diva tried to follow him up, and it was just a little bit of a staggered push. And another boom. Eliminate the Sigma, but a great shatter onto 3 members of Boise State. Forces out the sound barrier from Bagel to keep them alive, as well as UC San Diego's own sound barrier to keep their members alive. But Matt Merck and Player are going to get the first 2 eliminations onto Princess and Rogue. Quickly followed by Chosen, winning the 1v1 against Demekels? Back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth.
So now as this next team fight kicks off, Kel's looking to use that Diva Bomb, and now the Amplification Matrix comes out, so you know Boise State's just going to go right in. Matt Merck's going to kick things off with the pin onto the main heel, and Kel with that Diva Bomb takes down the main tank. But now it's going to be DPS trades as Goblin is, so even more pressure is going to be on from the 2 DPS to try to deal with that Doomfist, since he's going to go straight for Chosen and Bagel again and again. Chosen's going to throw out that Amplification Matrix in first UC San Diego into the corner with a great shatter. Her taking down a Hinge as well as taking down every single member of the team. He's sticking with that very high speed, but the Brigands End are going to have to be very well defended in order to not just get rolled over by UC San Diego. But a very early elimination from Chosen. That charged up right click. Talking about a dominating Satan's